Anyway, I want to talk about some comments I received recently. I get a lot of comments, and unfortunately, I just can't. I don't have the time to go through every one of them. I get a lot of comments on YouTube. I mean, there's a lot of people following me right now on YouTube, and I actually have way more followers on online on the podcast version. And I received a lot of comments. Actually, this is with regard to the a podcast that I published on December 27th, and the title was Melon Blast Mainstream Media Over Lackluster UFO Coverage. Anyway, there was some comments here I want to go through. And I'll actually read all these comments. Okay, there was a comment from Fred. It says, "Keep up the pressure. The question really is, who the hell is in charge? I believe a secret treaty and legal one has been made at some point, one that violates pretty much every law we have." Yeah, that could very well be true. Maybe there's a secret treaty made up between a bunch of other countries and or the aliens themselves. I don't know. I guess... Who knows? I mean, all we can do is speculate. We know that there has to be some sort of agreement made by somebody in the past, and some kind of authority authorized to some group or person to keep it a secret. I don't know what's going on. I mean, what happened? Something happened in the past that has brought us to where we are right now. And I don't know. Okay, and then here was another comment from Brian Mosley, who says this: "Alien Jesus, ancient aliens is attacking my religion. They are claiming spiritual encounters with alien encounters. WTF, please help me, thanks." Okay, I'm going to try to help you here. Don't worry about what they say on ancient aliens. That's a UFO-tainment type of show. Don't even worry about it. Don't worry about what they say on there, because that's all that is unbelievably wild speculation. A lot of it just based on that's basically how I always complain about armchair debunkers. Well, there are actually some armchair UFO speculators who just make absurd statements on a lot of the time, especially on a show like Ancient Aliens. It's entertaining, right? It could be entertaining, but don't pay attention, pay no mind to it, right? Pay no mind to it. For the most part, just take it as entertainment. Okay, then there was another guy, Wayne Matthews, says, "Love your podcast, keep it up, bud. I'm trying." And then another, here's somebody said, Drob B says, "Love your podcast. How can I support?" I'll tell you what. How you can support me on Spotify, on your phone, on the phone app. And I talked about this before. On Spot, here's how you can support me on the podcast. On the phone app, you give me a good rating. You could on the app, like when you go to Extraterrestrial Reality, Extraterrestrial Reality. If you give me a good rating and boost my ratings up a little bit. See, sometimes I engage with debunkers on Twitter, and it seems like that doesn't help me, because apparently some people sometimes go on there and give me bad ratings, and I think sometimes it's from it's usually what happens is when I see a flurry of this, it's usually after I debate with a debunker online. They'll find my podcast and deliberately give me a bad rating. So if you can give me a good rating on there, and if you're on, and also follow me. If you listen to my podcast, please follow it. That helps. And if you're watching me on YouTube, and no matter what, if you're just somebody who listens to my podcast, please go to go to YouTube and also subscribe to me. I'm almost at 1,000 subscribers. I think I was about 13 away just earlier today. I want to get to 1,000. So please help me out there if you can. That's a way to support me. Get me to 1,000 subscribers on YouTube, and give me some a good rating on the podcast on the Spotify app. And if you're listening to it in a different podcast host, give me a good rating there too. Those kind of things help. And then finally, there was a comment here from Corby, who said the narrator should slow down and breathe. I agree with you. Corby. I think sometimes, and actually there's been a couple of episodes recently, and this was one of them, the one where you're commenting on, where I drank a couple of 2 or 3 cups of coffee before I did it, and that made it even worse than I even usually am. So yeah, I was off on talking like a mile a minute, stumbling over my words, spitting mad. Now I'm gonna keep getting spitting mad. I get spitting mad sometimes, and there's nothing like it. I can't help it. I can't help it. Once I start talking about this, it gets you angry that we're even at this. It's taking so long, to get this, this what we all want, disclosure. And then, if I'm sitting here drinking a bunch of coffee and then go try to do this podcast, and of course it's going to enhance, everything else. I mean, I know I already do have problems stumbling over my words sometimes. And so when you drink coffee, that even enhances that. It makes it even worse. And plus I'm talking, real fast. And yeah, you're right. Yeah, sometimes I need to slow it down and breathe better. Some episodes, it's not like, some episodes it's more of a calm, cool, and collected. And then sometimes it's like, ah! So yeah, I agree with you. Anyway, I do thank all the people that are commenting. And there's also, I get tons of comments on YouTube. I'll check out some of these. I mean, let's go. I'm just going to randomly pick some here. Okay, Space Alien suggested regarding one of my recent videos where I talked entitled "Pentagon Indirectly Revealed the Extraterrestrial Reality," and I was talking at one point of that I pointed out that, and this was part of the podcast entitled "The Super Secret Sovereign Kingdom of the Majestic 12." And then I made 2 videos out of that podcast. One of them was the same title as the podcast. And then the second one was Pentagon Indirectly Revealed the Extraterrestrial Reality. And Space Policeman of Space said, I suggest using the term alien, which means extraterrestrial, ultra-terrestrial, interdimensional, etc. Well, during that segment, what he's talking about there, I say that, let's just use extraterrestrial for now as a placeholder, and maybe we'll find out later on. Because, I mean, a lot of people are saying it could be ultra-dimensional, interdimensional, time travelers. It's really us from the future. There's all kinds of different speculation on what it could be. But I just say let's use extraterrestrial for the time being. Because, I mean, for one thing, it probably is, right? That's what I think, right? But we get bogged down sometimes, I think. Now, he's suggesting I just use alien and that covers everything. Well, maybe he's right. But then I'd have to change my name. I have to change the name of the show to Alien Reality. Or, I like Extraterrestrial Reality. It sounds more, so. No, I'm not going to do it. What else? Let's see some other comments here. Eric Van Tassel commented on this same episode. He says, he doesn't think I honestly don't think the government will go full disclosure. Imagine them telling not only its own citizens, but all of humanity that a far, far superior advanced intelligent race has control over the Earth's skies and that they have been abducting humans for decades, and there's nothing at all the U.S. government or military can do to stop it. On top of that, if the conspiracy actually runs deeper and they have had contact with this advanced alien race or races for decades, and if it runs more deeper and evil possibly gave them the okay to abduct its citizens for a return of technology, even if that part's not true, just the fact them admitting they can't stop what's happening, I think it would panic the hell out of society. I don't know, maybe I'm wrong and a majority of mankind would move on just fine, but from every study that's been done since the 60s, starting with the Brookings report, if humanity ever knew the truth, it would bring about total chaos and anarchy. And then there was a response to that from Oresto Fafak, and he said, "You're right. Full disclosure, I think, is out of the question. But partial, yes, folks. These are probably aliens. We don't know much more, but we'll tell you more as soon as we find out. Probably false too. I mean, we humanity need at least that. Then let the rest be decided by some elected institution. There must be a balance between public and secret. But right now, we're still deep in the dark side of the spectrum, and for too long. I mean, they could come out with a partial disclosure. I mean, just admit to the fact that there's this extraterrestrial presence. Admit to that fact. Just admit to that fact. They don't have to tell the whole truth. You could say, we don't think that they're just looking at us. They're studying us. Basically, that's all that it seems like they're doing. It doesn't seem like they're hostile. They could lie. They could even say stuff like, these cattle mutilations. Guess what? They're caused by these alien beings. They're like insects, and they drink blood, so that's what's going on there. I mean, you could admit to these things, and then people would, I think people would be okay with that. You don't have to tell them the full truth. I mean, I don't think you should. I mean, actually, if it's something really bad, I don't think you should, but you need to tell them at least the reality that they're here, right? I think that needs to come out. I mean, you couldn't tell them about what you've learned, how far you've gotten reverse engineering these craft. Of course you can't talk about that, right? If they're planning to take over the world, okay, I guess you got to hold your cards tighter to the vest on something like that too. But with regard to everything else, I think the public could handle it. It just you need to prepare a speech, or I don't know how you could do it. I mean, I don't know if you have the president step up to the plate or somebody, a high-ranking official within the Pentagon. I think would probably be best, and some scientists, within that work for the government. Have people and then make a presentation, to a live presentation on air. It should be done. It needs to be done. I mean, again, why are we forced to have to do this whistleblower stuff? I mean, I'm glad about it, but at the same time, now that it's passed, it's almost like, why? I mean, now that it's passed, it's unbelievable. It makes you stop and think to yourself, well, why are we even doing this? Why is the president of the United States have to sign a bill like this in order to get information about UFOs to the public? That goes to show you that our elected officials are not controlling this information. That basically proves it, that they don't believe, the Congress doesn't believe it, the president doesn't believe it, that they have control over it. So they felt like it was necessary to do this. And again, the ineptitude of the media over the past, few weeks here, the past few months actually, it's been awful. I mean, the articles, and it's awful. The articles in the New York Times and the Wall Street Journal, and basically nothing on the news channels themselves. I mean, of course, every now and then they'll have a little blurb here and there, right? But this was a big story. The fact that this legislation passed with that kind of language in it, and the fact that the media didn't cover that is just, it's not good. It's not good. It looks bad. It looks bad for them. It looks like they're doing it. It looks like they're part of the issue. It looks like they're playing ball with whoever this secret organization is. That's what it makes it look like. Whether that's true or not, or either they're stupid. I mean, there's a lot of different things you could look at here. Either they're just really dumb. The media, mainstream media, is really dumb, or the owners of these mainstream media outlets are actually working in cahoots with the with this secret control group, or getting instructions from them and abiding by those instructions. I mean, there's not many choices here. I mean, anybody could figure this out. But because the bottom line is this, I guess here's the bottom line is there's a presence here on this planet, right? It's non-human, and they're interacting with us, and they have technology that far exceeds any kind of technology that we have. That's the truth, okay? Some of us know it, a lot of us don't. And it's time for a lot of us who don't know it to know about it. And it's time for the entire scientific community of the world to be brought in on this secret. And that's why it's important. It's very important that we bring it into this cover-up, and we move on to the next level of human history here. That's what I got to say.